everyone! So before we try to answer some problems about the cost behavior analysis, particularly the high-low method, the squares method, and scattergraph method, let us first discuss the scattergraph method. Well, actually, for this method, this is quite a hard one, not because it has a complex procedure, but because it will not really give us the exact answer. So our answer for this one would just base on our visual analysis. Now, what is a scattergraph method? Scattergraph method is, of course, a graphical technique of separating fixed and variable components of the mixed cost. By how? That is by plotting activity level along x-axis and corresponding total cost along y-axis. So we need here the x-axis, which is the horizontal one, and the y-axis, which is the vertical axis. Now, a regression line is then drawn in the graph by visual inspection. So through the points here, we are going to make a regression line. Now, the line thus drawn is used to estimate the total fixed cost and variable cost per unit. And the point where the line intercepts y-axis is the estimated fixed cost, and the slope of the line is the average variable cost per unit. Now, since the visual inspection does not involve any mathematical testing, therefore, this method should be applied with great care. Now, assuming here is the information. Company A decides to use scattergraph method to split its factory overhead into variable and fixed components. Following is the data which is provided for the analysis. So we have month 1 to 8, that is, here is the units and the factory overhead. So factory overhead here is a mixed cost, and we have to separate it between fixed and variable costs. Now the step 1 is draw scatter graph. Plot the data on scatter graph. Plot activity level along x-axis and total mixed cost along y-axis. So we are to first make a scatter graph. So what I'm gonna do is just to draw the y-axis. Okay, so here's the y-axis, and the horizontal one is the x-axis. Okay. And then you put the values. For the y-axis, it should be the mixed cost. And for the x-axis, it should be the number of units. so here is now our scatter graph. Now, the next thing that we're going to do is to plot the points. Okay, plot the activity level. So we have here the month 1 to 8. And for each month, we are gonna plot the points in our scatter graph. Okay, so for the month 1, we have 1,520 units. Okay, so that is for the x-axis, and 36,375 for the y-axis. So, for the x-axis, 1,520. So, siguro, more or less, na siya diring dapita, no? So, you just have to estimate. Okay? So, no problem with that. You just have to estimate. Okay, so, if naadiri ang 1,520, so, ahaman ang 36,375. Siguro, naadiri sa medyo tunga-tunga sa 30,000 and 40,000. Okay, so let me just put this one here. Okay, so money siya ang point sa ato ang month 1. How about for month number 2? For month number 2, we have 1 to 50 and 38,000. So, ang 1 to 50, siguro maybe in the middle of 1,000 and 1,500, diba? Now, since ang iyahang y-axis is 38,000, so naapunta dili kaabot sa 40,000. So, we just move it here. Pero, di siya kaabot sa 40,000, pero mas higher po siya kaysa aning sa month 1, since 36,375 raman ang month 1. Okay. Now, next would be month number 3, that is 1,750. So, between po diri sa 1,500 and 2,000. Okay, so we have here 1,500 and 2,000. I'll just put between them. Okay, and that's 41,750. So, lapas na diri sa 40,000. Alright. Okay. Now, the next one is 1,600 and 42,360. So, where is the 1,600 here? Maybe, if diri ang 1,500, no, sa tunga-tunga, and then the 1,600 should be here. So, if 1,520 daw ni siya, so siguro irog-irog tag gamay for the 1,600. Okay. So, you know, this is really quite hard in a way nga. Ano siya na kailangan siya itungod-tungod. However, lisod lang niya siya in this case because we have to estimate. But if you have your graphing paper, just like this one, na nagyud mo exact and equal grid line, so you can do it better. Okay? And that's 1,600. And for its y-axis, that's 42,360. Okay, so naana siya diring dapita. Okay, that's 42,360. This is not really exact, but we're trying to do our best para makuan siya. At least matungod siya dito sa iyahang exact number. Okay. Alright. Now next, we have month number 5, that is 2,350 and 55,080. Okay. So, 2,350, so maybe, nana siya diring dapita sa 2,500, and 55,080, nana siya diri sa taas. Okay, that's 55,80. Alright. Now, we also have 2,100 and 48,100. Okay. So, 2,100, na siya diri sa duol sa 2,000. If here is 2,000, so maybe ang 2,100, diri dapita. And 48,100, that should be below the 50,000. Okay. Next is for Month number 6, okay na. Month number 7, we have 3,000 and 59,000. So, nagit tayo 3,000 rin, no? So, butang na ito siya sa tunga sa 3,000. So, actually, you can also put the kuan, no? Ako, mga gibutang dito is merely the number lang. Pero, pwede po ni siya na ay mga line ginagmay to indicate, ang 500 yun exactly, 1,000. Pero ako, wala na akong gibutang, but we can assume nga ang 500 na sa tunga ani. 1,000 na sa tunga, 1,500 na sa tunga, ani 10,000 na sa tunga, ani nga number. So, just like this one, ang 3,000, i-assume na ako nasa tunga, ani niya. Okay, so this is the middle. And for the 59,000, that should be before 60,000. So, siguro, ano siya ang 60,000. So, sa ubos-ubos gamay niya ang 59,000. Okay, and then the next one, we have 2,750 and 56,800. Okay, so 2,750, mas gamay na siya sa 3,000. So, tunga-tunga na siya sa 2,500 and 3,000. And we have 56,800. So, we have 56,800. So, kung kaganihan na atay 55,080, siguro mo ni siya ang 55. So, ang 56 na apod sa babaw gamay niya. Okay? So, this is now our points. Alright? This is our points. Now, it doesn't matter if it's not really that exactly kanang plotted. Kay, what's important here is that nasa common nga area ba? Nasa common area kung sila nagtapok. And dito sa common area, that is where we are to make our regression line. Okay? So, to make our regression line, so, you just have to estimate. No? That's why, with this method, it must be used or applied with great care. Because, due to its nature nga, you just have to determine it through your vision. No? Lantaw nang nimo kung siya nagtapok dapit. And that's where we are gonna put our regression line. As you can see, since naaman dira so murag kumbaga sa atong pananaw paana ang ato ang regression line. No, dili siya pa paubos, dili siya pa straight, no, pero pa diagonal siya, no? Going up to the left. Okay? Going up to the right. Going up to the right. So, pero kani siya class actually is already given, but as to this one, this is actually a computer generated scattergraph. Computer generated siya. But here I am showing to you how to do it manually. Okay. So that's why it is normal if naay mga points nga hindi siya perfectly or exactly the same with this one, because this is a computer generated while ours is manually made. Okay, so here is then our regression line. Okay. Okay, so yes, this is now our scattergraph method. Okay, now what are we gonna do is to compute for the variable cost. Now for the fixed cost, there's no need to compute. Why? It's because ang fixed cost nato ani, what are we gonna consider as our fixed cost is ang pinaka-ubos nga point sa line. Okay? So, here, okay, let's read first the step 2 ha. Draw a regression line, which we are done already, and then draw a regression line over the scatter graph by visual inspection and try to minimize the total vertical distance between the line and all the points. Extend the line towards the y-axis. So, kinahanglan daw, murag kumbaga, balance sila ba? Dapat naagyo daw sa tunga-tunga ani nga mga points. Okay? So, extend the line towards y-axis. And step 3, find the total fixed cost. So, unsa to pagkaila sa total fixed cost? That is the total fix is given by the y-intercept of the line. Y-intercept is the point at which the line cuts y-axis. So, haman ang y-intercept ani? Haman ang y-intercept since pag buhat ito sa regression line, diri man ta nag-stop, di ba? Mamani itong stopping point na before siya maabot ito sa another side of the graph. So, diri therefore ang ato ang fixed cost. Okay? So, kumbaga class, ingani na siya, kumbaga ato ang fixed cost mag-cover ani no point. Okay? So, ingani na siya. Okay, so maragi nga ni ba? I'm just gonna change it. Okay, so therefore, kaninga area diri class, this is a fixed cost. So, what does it mean? It means nga, kani ang fixed cost. So, meaning, if 0, di ba kani siya, this represents the number of units. Now, if 0, if you have no production 0, you will still have a fixed cost or you will still incur a cost of 18,000. However, if you increase your production, such as here, kung ma-500 na siya, meaning naa na diri imuhang cost. So, it would include this point here, the fixed cost, and then kaning white diri, this is what we call then the variable cost. Okay, kaning white diri. So, kung 1,000 na, still you have the fixed cost of 18,000 and then kaning dungag sa white nga area, that is the variable cost. Kung 1,500, still kani ang fixed cost 18,000 and then ang variable cost is kaning nadungag kani sa white area. Okay, and that's how you determine the fixed and variable cost using the Scattergraph method. Okay, so I'm gonna put here a label so that you will not be confused. Okay, so this is what we term or what we call as the area of the fixed cost. Okay, and here would be the variable cost. So as you can see, the fixed cost is fixed, so naka-straight lang siya, but ang variable cost, it depends upon the number of units that is produced. So as the number of units is increased, the variable cost also increases. Okay, so therefore for this problem, how much is our variable fixed cost? So that is the y-intercept, which is 18,000. Okay, so that's 18,000. So it is already here, that is already stated there. And for the variable cost per unit, okay, that is the slope of the regression line. Now, variable cost per unit is equal to the slope of the line. Take 2 points. So we will take 2 points, x and y, and x sub 1 and y sub 1, and x sub 2 and y sub 2 on the line, and calculate variable cost using the following formula. So we have the slope of the regression line, that's y2 minus y1 and x2 minus x1. So actually here, class, we can choose anything. Okay? Pwede ra any of the points here in the line. Pwede ra mas kinsa. Basta you take any point sa x and y. Okay? You take just 2 points of the x and y. So, here, ito ang napili for the first set is x and y. For the first set, that's 0. Okay? We have 0 and 18,000. Okay? So, meaning class, diri sa point, kaninga point diri, kumbaga kaninga point diri kay na kuan man ni siya ang iyahang ang ato ang variable cost man ani kay along this line. So meaning it could not be nga kaninga point. It could not be nga kaninga point, but those points that are along this line. Okay? So that's why we can choose this one. Kaya nasa pinakatumoy, ang iyahang kuan ani, X and Y ani is 0 and 18,000. So that's why we have here 0 for the X and 18,000 for the Y. Okay, that is our first set. Okay, X sub 1 and Y sub 1. And another set would be, pwede po siya diri sa last. Okay, pwede po diri sa tunga-tunga or anything. But what's good here, pag mo pili kasi tumoy-tumoy and tumoy is that mas dili siya ma-determine na labaw na diri, dili siya ma-determine diri sa 0. Kaya kung na-diri sa tunga-tunga, medyo lisod siya ma-determine. But this is best determined kung kuan siya kana automatic siya nga mag-generate of scattergraph. But if manually, this is really very hard to determine. Okay. So, if you choose the point here, okay, so para dili no maglibog, no, ako siyang dungagan o ako. So, kaniha, we are choosing the point here. Okay, so this is the point that we're gonna use. Okay, so this is our first set and here is our second set. Okay, so that's 3,500 for the number of units and 68,000 for the total mix cost. Okay, so just we will not argue anymore if natungod ba dyan na siya sa 68,000 or sa 78,000. This is just because wala siya natungod just because this is just made manually, but according to the auto-generated graph, nagud sa 68,000 ang tupong sa ato ang regression. Okay? So we have our second set, the 35,000 and 68,000. Okay, I'm so sorry. For the 35,000, naman din na siya sa tunga-tunga, no? So the point should not be here, but it must be here. Okay? Oh, so ano na siya. So, we can actually make a line here para mas makita pa din siya. Okay, so ako lang siyang okay, so that you know kung nagikan yung 35 and 68,000. Okay. So this one is in the 35 and this one is in the 68,000. And for the other point, no need na ha, kaya na naman na siya sa tuloy. Okay, so this is our scatter graph